What is a temple? Let's understand this. Generally, when we utter the word temple, immediately people are thinking of which religion? No. If temple belongs to you or me or to a particular group, you cannot call it a temple. Temple is an invitation to the divine. If we can set up a space and the necessary tools where divine is more manifest, not that it is not there everywhere, it's just that more experienceable. There's sound waves everywhere, but you cannot hear it. You need a cell phone to catch the transmission, otherwise you can't catch it. So we can say a temple is a larger cell phone. You can't talk, just to listen, one-way cell phone, is it okay? I always set up the temple in such a way that you can't yap. Is that okay? Or you want to talk? If you want to listen to a dimension beyond, if you want to be receptive to that possibility, we can create a space like that. We can create a device or a tool like that. When I use the word tool, there seems to be a certain sense of lack of reverence in me. But I particularly use the word tool. When I refer to the Dhyana Linga as a tool, people feel offended. Sadhguru, don't say that. In our experience, it's everything. Don't call it a tool. I say it's a tool. Because the word tool means that which works. It is not a piece of art that you can just appreciate. It's a tool because it works. There's just one screw in the door, if I ask you to unscrew it with your hands, can you do it? But if I give you a screwdriver, you can do that, isn't it? Similarly, to open the doors for the beyond, there is a tool. With your own hands, if you try to unscrew that simple screw in the door, all your 10 nails will go, but still it'll not come. Yes? You can try with your teeth. You know, people do. When they have no tools, they'll try their hands, if it doesn't work, don't you do? You may lose your teeth, still it may not come. But if you had a simple tool, how easily you could do it. So this is a tool to open the doors of the beyond. And I don't think a tool is irreverential, nor do I think a tool is insulting. A tool is a tremendous possibility, isn't it? The significant development in human society has happened only when we started making tools, isn't it? No? Why is it offensive if I say a temple is a tool? A temple is a tool. There are different ways of using different tools. For this tool, you have to be in a certain mode. Because this is not a physical tool, you have to approach it in a certain way. So that certain way may also include a certain level of reverence because that attitude is needed to be able to use that tool. So it's very important that it is understood and used as a tool, not as a destination, but just as a possibility. A temple is not a destination. A temple is only a doorway. A doorway is not a destination. A doorway is just a doorway, opens up something. So what does it take to build a temple? Of course, we need some stone and many other material, but what does it take within a human being to build a temple? Why I'm telling you all this is I'm trying to discourage you. a temple will not happen unless at least a band of people, at least a handful of people, hold it above their own life, not as a part of their life, not as a side thing that they do in their life. Temple building is not a hobby or a profession. You have to see it as something beyond your life, more important than your life. You must understand, at least in the East, in India, temples were built so elaborately, some of the temples took 3 to 4 generations to complete. For example, the Temple in Ajanta, Ellora, in the Ajanta area in Maharashtra. There are many in Tamil Nadu. This temple was carved out of the rock. They did not build it. A huge mountain of a rock, they carved the temple into it. 3 floors, all carved out. They must have removed hundreds of tons of stone, probably thousands of tons of stone, because all the empty space that you see in the temple has been carved out. And they made 3 stories, elaborate, decorations, and there are at least about 600 statues, all carved out. If you make one mistake, you have to rebuild the whole temple. Yes, because it's not built, it's not something you can take it off and put something. It is carved into the rock. It took 135 years, at least 4 generations of people working to the same plan. Three to 4 generations of people working to the same plan for 135 years to complete the temple. And nowhere their names are written. Such phenomenal work. Many of them must have started working at 14, 15 years of age and they would have died there, okay, doing the work. But nobody's name is written. Architect's name is not written. The kings who sponsored the temple, their names are not written. That's a temple, understand? It's not a place for us to leave a footprint of who we are. The very beautiful story. There was an old man. There was a man. Men get old. Slowly. He had 2 sons. Father and 2 sons worked hard, built a big farm, they became prosperous. Then for the old man, time to die came. When he was going away, he told his 2 sons, whatever comes out of this land, both of you should share equally, and you must always keep it up. At no point there should be any dispute between the 2 of you. They agreed in front of their father and they kept to it. I'm saying, not dividing the land. Dividing the land has come only in the last 4 to 5 generations in India, maybe 3 to 4 generations. Before that, there was no such thing as, this is my land, this is your land. Only the produce was divided, never the land. So conceptually, it was not there in people's minds that you can actually divide the land. So he said, you must divide the produce equally. And they stuck to it. After some time, one of the brothers got married. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 children he had. The other one never got married. So he was alone. But still the crop was shared 50-50. Because those are the father's words, you can't change it, that's his wish. So the brother who was married and had 5 children, one day a worm entered into his mind. You know, sometimes worms get into your mind. A worm entered his mind, and then a thought arose, and he thought, I have a wife and 5 children, I get 50%. My brother is alone by himself and he gets 50%. When I grow old, my sons will grow up, 5 of them. They will tame more land, we will become more prosperous and we will have much more. But my brother is alone. When he gets old, he will have only 50% of what we have now. This is not fair. But he is so proud. If I try to give him little more, he will not take it. If I try to share my produce from the new lands that my sons have broken, he will not take it. Only from the father's land, he will take 50%. So what to do? So in the night, when everybody is asleep, he carries a bag of grain and takes it and puts it into his brother's store. So that unknowingly, he's donating to his brother. The other brother, who was alone, thought, my brother has a wife and 5 children, he needs more. I'm just alone, what will I do with all this? But if I try to offer anything, he will not take. So he started carrying grains and dropping it into his brother's store. Reverse osmosis was happening. And nobody knew. In the night, quietly, once in a way, this brother puts one bag, that brother puts another bag. This went on. They became old. One day, 2 old men were carrying sacks of grain in the night, and they came and they faced each other. Both of them realized what's been happening. But they looked away and continued their journey, put the sacks and went back. Then they died after some time. The townsfolk were wanting to build a temple. They were looking for a site, they went to many places. After much looking, they decided to build a temple where these 2 brothers met on that night. They looked at each other and suddenly they were so embarrassed of their own generosity, they looked the other way and continued their job. They thought this is the best place to build a temple. Because that's what a temple means, that looking beyond yourself. If that is not there, there is no temple.
So, in today's technological world, we know that artificial intelligence and robotics are taking over. Those are the cutting-edge technologies. So, what is your take on the interaction of such technologies with the intersection of such technologies and ancient practices such as meditations and yoga?
Are you sure I'm real? Because last year and a half, they've been inviting me to speak in all sorts of artificial intelligence conferences in the world. I was just surprised, why are they asking me to come and speak about artificial intelligence, because I'm not an expert in the field, nor am I an artificial intelligence. So I asked them in one of the conferences, it was in St. Petersburg, I said, why are you guys inviting me to all these artificial intelligence conferences? I'm a natural intelligence, not an artificial intelligence. They said, the problem is, what are we going to do? We're going to lose our jobs. These are all professors in big universities, in MIT and in Harvard and these kind of places. They're asking me, what are we going to do in another 10 years' time? Because everything that we know, everything that was sacred till now, suddenly is going to be there on a little gadget. You must understand this, what artificial intelligence means is accumulation of information, analyzing it and projecting it the way you want at a given moment, will no more be considered as a valuable thing in human faculty. Because a simple gadget will do it much better than any human being. Already that Google lady is looking smarter than any of you, isn't it? She looks smarter than me, it's okay, I'm not educated, but you guys She's looking smarter than any of us or no? Anything you ask, without batting an eyelid, she tells us. So, it's going to that place where intellectually everything that you perform will look stupid or meaningless. This happened to me when I was about 13 years of age, I think, 13 or 14, 13 I think. For the first time I saw a flatbed calculator, this Panasonic calculator, you know. At that time it was 110 rupees, it was very expensive. You drink a coffee for more than that today. But 110 rupees, Panasonic, Sony was 125, so we buy the cheaper one, 110 rupees Panasonic. And they show me this, I never bought them. Somebody brought one and they showed me, tuk. Results. Then first thought that came to me is, why the hell am I wasting my life in the mathematics classes? I said, all I need is this, I don't have to go to the math class. Whatever question you ask, tuk. A 100-rupee thing can tell you why this torture for 10 years, going through this arithmetics and mathematics and all kinds of things. It can even do sin theta, cos theta, whatever nonsense you want. Then only I thought, we must make a big machine which does all this rubbish so that I don't have to go to school. At last, the dream is coming true. In the next 10-15 years, the education as you know it, professions as you know it today will become meaningless because right now, they've created these machines. Right now, we are still kind of obsessed with creating machines which look like us, which is unnecessarily complicating. It can be a square box which walks everywhere and does everything we do. It's too insulting for human intelligence. So, we're still making it look like a human being. If something is intelligent, it must look human in our mind. But slowly, for the sake of economics, somebody will make one tall box which does everything that you do, okay? Time is coming for that. So once this happens, many things that we are spending years on learning will be meaningless. Now they built a thing, I was meeting this one top real estate guy in Russia. They're designing something that if a customer comes and says, what kind of house I want, what is my aesthetics, what is my culture, what I like, how it should be, and what's my budget. A machine designs a complete house, 10 different alternatives that you want, including paintings, hangings in the wall, the furniture, the works. Now they're saying in another 5 to 7 years, they're saying, it can even print the house and build it. So just imagine the design, guys. So many of you will be out of your occasion unless you do something that a damn machine cannot do. All of you should gear yourself for this now. You must be able to do something beyond your intellect. Human being has many layers of intelligence. Intellect is only a small part of it. Right now, our education system is completely dedicated to intellectual development of the human being and we think that's the grandest way to live. No, it is not. We can explore that if we have the time. But in the yogic way of looking at things, we look at human intelligence as 16 parts. If you explore other dimensions of intelligence, only then you will be relevant when everything intellectual. Intellectual means your intellect cannot function without accumulated data. Yes or no? Hello? Your intellect cannot function without accumulated data, is that so? Now, whatever is data assimilation, analysis and execution of that analysis, a machine will do better than you. A human being can always make mistakes, can always fudge information, but a machine is clear-cut. It will simply do those things. So everything that you can do intellectually will be meaningless in another 10 to 15 years' time. Maybe in India it will take 20 to 25 years' time, but inevitably it's going to happen. So you must be equipped with something beyond your intellect. When I say beyond your intellect, there are many ways to look at it. I will make a simplistic example. simplistic because if we go into more sophisticated examples, we'll have to do a lot of exploration. We don't have that kind of time today. For example, what did you eat for lunch?
Maggie.
You are on Maggie? Can't you… somebody take care of his nourishment? He's on Maggie? Okay, even if you eat the noodle, a noodle doesn't look like him, doesn't feel like him, nothing. But this noodle he eats, within 3-4 hours' time, this Maggie noodle has become a human being, isn't it?
Yeah, part of it.
It's become part of the system. So you are manufacturing such a complex machine with Maggie noodles. This is like a 3D printer. You put Maggie noodles into it. No, I am not made of Maggie noodles, okay? I eat better than that. But you put a chapati into this becomes a human body. This is the most sophisticated machine on the planet. You're manufacturing this with whatever food that you eat. And the food that you eat is just the soil that you walk upon. Yes or no? And it stands up. Isn't this a 3D printer? Hello? Does that intelligence exist within you or not? Not even in your brain, in your gut?
It does.
It does. So if only you found conscious access to this dimension of intelligence, you would live magically, isn't it? Then artificial intelligence won't disturb you, you will be very happy because all the menial jobs if the machines do, what a wonderful world. I'm looking forward to that.
मात पिता तुम मेरे प्रभु मेरे गुरु मात पिता तुम मेरे प्रभु मेरे गुरु जो है और जो है नहीं सब कुछ तुम हो सद्गुरु मात पिता तुम मेरे प्रभु मेरे गुरु जो है और जो है नहीं सब कुछ तुम हो सद्गुरु माँ ने दिया जन्म पिता ने दिया है नाम माँ ने दिया जन्म पिता ने दिया है नाम अनदेखी एक दिशा बुलाती सुबह हो शाम हर दिशा में अब तुम ही किस दिशा को नमन करूं जो है और जो है नहीं सब कुछ तुम हो सद्गुरु